my role has been expanded in the past year, my role now is to help us think beyond just trees, and there are many folks in Goshen who are already doing that. There's a lot of great work being done with water quality and brownfield reclamation, and thinking about how we can become more efficient in the way that we use our resources. But we are at the point now where the city needs to kind of gather up all of these pieces and kind of look at how they work together, how they fit in relationship to each other, and how we as a community can decide how best to use the resources. So, I mean, our essential resources, as I see them, in Goshen, are human ingenuity, soils, water, and trees. I think because trees are an expression of all of these different things, and these resources experience greater and greater stress as our population continues to grow, and as climate change begins to narrow the ability of our existing ecosystem to function in the way that it has, even as it functions now, which is already diminished from what it once was. And so my expanded role is to, as I'm understanding it, as the city is trying to understand it, is to help us be thoughtful and proactive, and also be appreciative of the vast unknowns that are in front of us. We prefer to think in terms of the things that we know and that we can control, but I think an important thing for us to begin to shift to is recognizing that the things we don't know are the really important variables in front of us, and and resilience means preparing for not knowing how things are going to move around us, and being able to roll with changes, especially climatic changes that are going to change the nature of our ecosystem, and therefore our society over the next 100 years, beyond us, into the lifetimes of my children and maybe grandchildren. That's a daunting task, of course, and realistically it's an impossible task, and it's only one that I can begin to think about, and it's not one that I can do on my own. And so part of an appeal here is for all of us to work at these things together. That's the task of urban forestry, and that's the expanded task that now comes to all of us, and that I'm scratching my head thinking about how do I live into that.